Okay, imagine this. Your whole job, your whole life, really, depends on your sense of smell. You're a winemaker in France. Helene Barr is her name.
Oh, I know this story. Post-COVID, right?
Exactly. And suddenly things are just wrong. Peanuts smell like shrimp. Rice smells like Nutella.
It's terrifying, really. Anosmia, the loss of smell, or even just that scrambling of scents. It just throws into sharp relief how much we rely on our senses for, well, everything.
Right. Every memory, every experience, it's not just passive input. It's this whole complex information system connecting us to the world.
Yeah, seeing a sunrise, smelling baking bread, it all starts with the senses.
So today we're doing a deep dive into sensation and perception, this really amazing system that literally builds our
You're
reality.
going to look at how it works, its incredible power, and maybe even where it kind of messes up sometimes.
Yeah, the glitches in the matrix, so to speak.
Or maybe just the difference between detecting, raw data and actually experiencing something meaningful.
Okay, so let's start at the beginning. We sense things, we perceive things. Where's the actual line? What's the difference between just taking stuff in and actually understanding it?
That's the core distinction. Sensation versus perception. Sensation is the really basic bit.
Uh-huh.
Specialized cells in your eyes, ears, skin, whatever, they pick up energy. Light, sound, pressure, and they turn that into neural signals. That's sensation, just detecting the raw ingredients.
So my eye detects light waves, my ear detects vibrations. But that's not music, right?
Exactly. That's where perception comes in. It's the brain taking that flood of neural energy and organizing it, interpreting it, making it mean something.
Ah, okay.
So sensation might detect, like, a fast-moving silver shape in the sky.
But perception says, oh, that's a jet plane.
Precisely. Perception is the actual experience you have.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But the brain deals with totally new things and stuff it's seen a million times. How does it manage both?
It uses two main ways of working, and they usually happen together. First, there's bottom-up processing.
Bottom up.
That's when you encounter something brand new. Your brain takes the incoming sensory info, the details, and sends it up for interpretation, building the picture from scratch.
Like hearing a song for the very first time. You're just taking in the sounds, trying to get a feel for it.
Exactly. You're relying purely on that new data coming in. Now, the opposite is top-down processing.
So that's using what you already know.
Totally. You start with your knowledge, your expectations, your memories, your mental framework, and you apply that to the incoming information.
Like hearing that same song again. You know the words, you anticipate the chorus.
Right. You can sing along. You might even hear it in your head later. Your expectations shape the experience.
And sometimes those two crash. Like, remember that viral thing? Hashtag everything is a cake.
Oh, yeah. Hilarious. And a perfect example.
Your top-down brain sees a shoe or a plant and screams shoey or plant.
But then the knife goes in.
And the bottom-up data screams, wait, cake, frosting, total confusion.
It really shows how much we lean on those top-down expectations. Or think about food. You see something red, maybe you expect it to be sweet like candy.
Yeah, like strawberries.
Right. But then you bite into a red beet for the first time.
Ugh, yeah, definitely not sweet. Your expectation totally colors the first taste. Okay, so our senses are processing all this info. But how sensitive are they really? We talk about the absolute threshold.
Right, that's the bare minimum stimulus energy you can detect, and only about half the time, actually.
And the examples are just mind-blowing.
Under perfect conditions, yeah. Like seeing a single candle flame 30 miles away on a clear, dark night.
Or hearing a watch tick 20 feet away in total silence.
Yeah.
It seems almost superhuman.
It shows the potential. But, the world isn't usually silent or perfectly dark.
True. So what about noticing a change? Like when something's already there, but it gets louder or heavier?
That's the difference threshold, or the J&D, just noticeable difference.
C&D, okay.
And the key thing here is Weber's law. It says the difference you can detect isn't a fixed amount, it's a constant proportion of whatever the original stimulus was.
I like the backpack example for this one.
It's perfect, right? Empty backpack, you add one tabbed book, you feel that immediately. Big proportional change.
But if the backpack's already crammed with like 10 textbooks.
Adding one more, you probably won't even notice the percentage increase is tiny.
So Weber's law, got it. But these thresholds, they're not totally fixed, are they? Like if you're tired or really expecting something?
Exactly. It's not just physics. Which leads us to a couple of interesting things. First, subliminal perception. Detecting stuff below your conscious radar.
So stuff we don't know we're sensing. Does it actually affect us?
Well, the research suggests yes, weakly. It can influence us through priming. The brain registers it, even if you don't notice.
You have an example.
Yeah, there was this neat magic trick study. The magician subtly made diamond shapes with his hands, held up 3 fingers, just, while chatting. Then he asked people to pick a card. Guess which one got chosen way more often than chance?
3 of diamonds.
Bingo! But people swore they just liked 3s, or diamonds felt right. They had no idea they'd been primed.
Wow, okay. So our state matters.
Mm.
Which brings us to signal detection theory, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's not just about the signal strength.
Precisely. This theory basically says detecting something isn't just about the physics. It's a decision you make under uncertainty.
A decision.
Yeah. It depends on the signal, sure, but also on you. Are you tired? Are you expecting it? How important is it that you detect it? That's your criterion.
Okay, and this gives us 4 possible outcomes.
Mm.
Like deciding whether to ask someone out. That's the signal. Are they interested?
It's a perfect analogy. So outcome 1, a hit. You correctly detect they're interested. You ask them out. Good result.
Outcome 2, correct rejection. You correctly figure out they're not interested. You don't ask. Also good. Avoided awkwardness.
Right. Then the errors. Outcome 3, a miss. They were interested, but you failed to detect it, didn't ask. Oops.
And outcome 4, false alarm. They were not interested, but you thought they were and asked anyway.
Awkward.
Exactly. And your personal criterion, how much you fear a miss versus a false alarm, affects your decision.
So with all this information bombarding us, we need to focus, right? That's selective attention.
Absolutely essential. You narrow your focus onto one thing, filtering out the rest. The classic example is the cocktail party effect.
Right, being able to tune into one conversation in a noisy room.
It's a superpower.
Yeah.
But that powerful focus has a downside. When you filter so well,
You miss things.
big time. That's inattentional blindness. The failure to see stuff right in front of you because your attention is elsewhere.
Ah, the grill experiment.
The most famous one. People are so busy counting basketball passes.
They completely miss a person in a gorilla suit walking through the middle of the players.
Over half of them. It's wild. Your attention spotlight is just too narrow sometimes.
And our brain helps us miss things with perceptual set, too. Basically, expecting to see something influences what we actually see. Yeah, it's a top-down thing, a readiness to perceive something in a certain way, like with playing cards. You expect spades to be black.
So if someone sneaks a red ace of spades into the deck,
Many people just won't register it, or they'll report it as black. Their expectation literally overrides the visual data coming in.
wow. And speaking of the brain filling things in, the blind spot.
Oh, perfect anatomical example of top-down construction. Where your optic nerve leaves the eye, there are 0 photoreceptor cells. None.
So there should be a hole in our vision, a gap.
But there isn't. Why? Because your brain brilliantly papers over it, it looks at the surrounding area and just fills in the blank with what it predicts should be there.
It's constantly creating this seamless reality for us, even if parts are kind of fabricated.
Exactly. And sometimes that filling in process can go into overdrive or get weird inputs. That's when you can get hallucinations.
So hallucinations are like an imbalance.
Pretty much an extreme imbalance between bottom-up sensory input and top-down interpretation, especially when sensory input is reduced. It's called deferentation.
Less input coming in.
So the brain relies more heavily on its internal models, its top-down predictions, to fill the gap. This can lead to things like Charles Bonnet syndrome.
What's that?
People who lose their sight later in life sometimes start having incredibly vivid, detailed, realistic visual hallucinations. Not scary, usually, just there. Generated entirely by the brain trying to make sense of the lack of input.
It makes sense that our senses are tuned for survival, evolutionarily speaking.
Oh, absolutely. Think about eye placement. Predators, like us, tend to have eyes facing forward.
For depth perception, judging distance to attack.
Right. Binocular vision. Prey animals, though, often has eyes on the sides of the head.
For a wider view, right?
Yeah.
Panoramic. To spot danger coming from any direction.
Exactly. And hearing, too. Having 2 ears isn't just for stereo sound. It's crucial for auditory localization, figuring out where a sound is coming from.
How does that work?
Tiny differences in timing and intensity. A sound from your left hits your left ear a fraction of a second sooner and slightly louder than your right ear.
Louder. Why?
Because your head creates a sound shadow, it literally blocks some of the sound energy from reaching the far ear easily. The brain uses those tiny differences to pinpoint the source.
Clever. Okay, beyond sight and sound, what about knowing where our body is?
Ah, the bodily senses. Super important, often overlooked. You've got the kinesthetic sense.
Aesthetic.
That's feedback from your muscles, tendons, joints. It tells your brain about your body's position and movement. It's how you can touch your nose with your eyes closed or type without looking at the keys.
Right. And the other one, balance.
That's the vestibular sense, handles balance, movement, your orientation in space. It's located in the inner ear in those fluid-filled semicircular canals. They detect acceleration, tilting, keeps you upright, mostly.
Mostly. Okay, what about the chemical senses? Smell and taste. You mentioned smell earlier being kind of special.
It really is. Its neural pathway is unique. Unlike all the other senses, smell signals pretty much bypass the thalamus, the brain's main relay station.
Where do they go instead?
Directly to the temporal lobes and significantly right into the limbic system.
The emotion and memory center.
Exactly. That's why smells can trigger such powerful, immediate emotional responses and memories. It's a chemical superhighway straight to your past feelings.
Makes sense. And taste. Anything new there?
Well, we've officially added a fifth basic taste to the classic sweet, sour, salty, bitter. It's umami.
Umami. The savory taste.
Yep. That rich, meaty, savory flavor you get from things like Parmesan cheese, mushrooms, cured meats. It's now recognized as a distinct taste category our receptors pick up.
Interesting. Okay, finally. Pain. It's unpleasant, obviously, but incredibly adaptive.
Couldn't live without it, honestly. Pain acts as a warning system and uses two main pathways. There's a fast pathway.
Fast, like touching a hot stove.
Exactly.
Mm.
Sharp, localized pain shoots up to the sensory cortex. Message: danger, withdraw, and now W. It's the immediate alarm.
And the other pathway.
That's the slow pathway. It travels through the limbic system. This carries that more nagging, burning, aching pain, the kind that tells you, okay, you're injured, rest, protect this area.
So one's the siren, the other's the reminder to take it easy.
Kinda, yeah. And perception of that slow pathway pain is heavily influenced by context, emotion, and even your body's own painkillers, like endorphins.
Right. But you mentioned context and pain perception being subjective. The sources raised a really important and frankly disturbing point about this.
Yes. While pain is subjective and influenced by many factors like culture and stress, that subjectivity can get tangled up with really harmful biases.
Like in medical treatment.
Unfortunately, yes, studies consistently show racial disparities. For example, Black patients reporting the same level of pain as white patients, say, from a broken bone, are often less likely to receive adequate pain medication.
Why would that happen?
The research points towards lingering false beliefs among some clinicians about supposed biological differences in pain tolerance between races. It's a tragic example of how perception, or misperception, in this case by the caregiver, can have severe real-world consequences, and how pain isn't experienced or treated equally. Hashtag outro.
Wow. So from detecting a tiny sound 20 feet away to literally painting over the holes in our vision.
Yeah.
Sensation and perception really are this single, incredibly complex adaptive system.
And so much of it hinges on interpretation, doesn't it? That top-down processing constructing the reality that you actually experience day to day.
Which means we should probably take care of the hardware. Any quick health takeaways for our listeners?
Definitely. Protect your hearing. Noise damage is cumulative. Be mindful of volume, especially with earphones. Maybe consider noise-canceling ones in loud places so you don't feel a need to crank it up.
Good tip. Like the 90-90 rule. No more than 90 minutes at 90% volume.
That's a decent guideline, yeah. And for vision, diet matters. Vitamins A, E, C, zinc, beta-carotene, all that good stuff helps maintain eye health.
Okay, good reminders. There's that story of Michael May, blind for decades, then gets his sight back surgically.
Oh, yeah. Incredible case. He could detect light. The raw sensation was there.
But he couldn't perceive it meaningfully at first, right? Like seeing stars in the sky, he thought they were just abstract dots, not actual distant objects.
Exactly. His brain hadn't learned to interpret that visual input after so long without it. It shows just how much learning and expectation goes into what we simply call seeing.
Which leads to a final thought. If our brain's expectations, our top-down processing, are powerful enough to fill in our blind spot, maybe even generate a hallucination when input is low, well, what other subtle assumptions is your brain making right now, shaping the very reality you're experiencing without you even noticing?
Makes you think, doesn't it?